from the old Startail team, which also had, it was Ryu Score, Matha, and Loco Doco and Koma. Koma now the coach of SK Telecom. Loco Doco on Quantic in North America. And these three guys moving over to the KT Bullets. Insect changing positions to the top lane and them getting Kakao in there as well.
And there's Insect. Look at that, 7.43 KDA. That's actually really high.
And this is KT Bullets were really the only team in Champion Summer and immediately before Worlds that could give SK Telecom a run for their money.
Yeah.
They won the first two games of the Champion Summer final before getting reverse all-killed to take the game to 5.
That finals was the most amazing best of 5 I've ever
Please
seen
go back
in League
and
of
watch
Legends.
that if you haven't seen it.
Yeah, the
it
summer finals
for
were
me,
incredible.
it was the best series of 2013.
Absolutely, I agree with you 100%. Even though we started that one completely soaked in the rain.
That was part of the excitement,
It
right?
was. It was a very unique experience. There's Ryu, pretty amazing mid laner. And Score, of course, formerly of the Immortal Score, now kind of just the maybe long-living Score. Not quite immortal anymore, but still quite good.
And if you're new to Korean League of Legends, the KT Bullets possess a play style that is really unlike any other team on the planet, which is why I was very disappointed that they didn't go to Worlds, because I wanted to see how their style matched up against some other regions.
Yeah.
They love to craft fast push compositions. This team will play PvE more than any other team I have seen. They will go for your towers, they will play a lot of fiddlesticks, they will find ways to keep you off your turrets and take them down. And also, they will sneak Baron and Dragon at the weirdest times early on in the game. They're very good about controlling vision over those objectives and placing players around the map. So you think, oh, they can't possibly be doing Baron now at 18 minutes, but they are just sneaking it on you.
Yeah, KT is really the ultimate sneaky Baron team. I would be surprised if we didn't see them at least try to make an attempt for that today. A lot of KT fans in the audience too. Man, there's tons of KT signs everywhere. But they have to take on a pretty powerful opponent today in none other than Samsung Blue, the team that 2-0'd SK Telecom K right after they won Worlds. These guys are not to be trifled with.
And it was a pretty shocking upset, too, because this wasn't a team that was good before that point. They kind of came out of nowhere, and they replaced their mid laner, Easy Hoon, who you just saw play in the new SK Telecom team.
Yep.
But now it's Pawn, formerly Onesuck, who was the mid laner of MIG Blitz, if you remember last season. But why this team is strong right now is because they really discovered a lot of champions and a lot of power in the current meta in terms of Siege. By the way, Acorn and Heart are in fact Chunyang and Chunju. They just changed their names, so fear not, they just love to switch things up on us.
Oh yeah.
I don't think
changes.
Nobody has changed their name more than Chunyang.
That's just true. I don't know. Name changes are a Korean esports tradition.
Yeah, he's now Heart, but he's also been known as Chunyang, Solo, and Sense at different times.
Yeah, everybody thinks Loco Doco's team is the most Korean team in NA, but it's actually Vulcan, purely based on name change reasons. But yeah, they're not even Vulcan anymore. Well, there, I rest my case. There, that's it. Spirit in the jungle. Who's got Spirit? That guy does. That's
certainly
the face of a man who named himself Spirit.
And Pawn has really been a success story. He played well last season, but to come in and ravage Faker the way that he did in the WCG tournament was pretty impressive. So as I was saying, this team, they figured out Nidalee Lucian before anybody else did.
Yeah, they did.
They are the ones who kind of brought this Siege meta all back into shape, where they were just crushing teams that many people considered better. In fact, they beat the Bullets in the WCG qualifiers as well.
They did.
So
they had an amazing run in that tournament.
They did. They didn't quite make it to the global finals. They got the runner-up prize, which isn't a whole lot.
Well,
but even so, they looked very strong, and they looked very innovative in the way that they were playing the game. And why we're seeing the Nidalee bans, why we're seeing the Lucian priority, it's because of this team.
Yep, absolutely. And I mean, I actually was talking to the Samsung coach, Coach Im, who's the guy who did the famous breakdancing move after Ozone won in the spring season, and he was saying that after Worlds, after Ozone didn't really perform up to expectations, they really revamped their practice schedule, and they really put a priority on learning a lot of newer champions quicker. And so I know they're practicing Jinx a lot right now, too. He said the Jinx isn't quite ready to go, but it's a champion they're really interested in. So no surprise to see them bringing out the Lucian a little bit before everybody else, then now causing Lucian fever here in Korea.
Well, Deft really known as the monster Lucian player here in Korea. And not to mention that his Ezreal is also extraordinary.
I think we're just going to see Lucian banned against these guys both games. I don't think we're actually going to get to see Lucian in either one of these.
No, I don't think we will either.
Yeah.
But we can hope.
We can hope.
And Pawn just really impressive play across the board.
Insec.
He's a player who's really hit like the next level.
Wow. And there's Insec when he's 40, I guess. Old man Insec just playing Malphite in the top lane still.
And Insec, we'll see how much he's diversified his champion pool.
Yeah.
Because he needs some new solutions. And it's hard. It's hard to move from jungle like he did in the spring into just one season of play and compete against really the region, Korea, that has the highest concentration of amazing top laners in the world. I mean, Korea is a region that's known for the quality of top lane play, and making that transition is difficult in any region, but especially difficult here in Korea, and he did a pretty good job. Nalra.
There's Nalra, yep.
With his hourglass.
Yep. Back at the, actually, he is back at the casting desk. There he is.
And the KT signs peppering the audience right now.
That's right. Probably the most, KT definitely has the most enthusiastic fan club in Korea right now. And here we go, picks and bans. Game number 1, Samsung Blue versus the KT Bullets. I am really psyched about this match, too. And there we go, Annie Jace, Nidalee Elise. No Lucian bans yet.
Well, they're saving it. It's going to be the last ban.
Should
Nidalee, Pawn's Nidalee was the thing that really demolished Faker in WCG.
Yeah, you want to know what he did to Faker? Just take the A out of Pawn's name, and that's you put him.
He did. Syndra, another ban, common one as we're seeing so far.
Yep.
In Champions Winter, another strong champion right now that a lot of the assassins have been nerfed. You still get that upfront burst damage, a little more CC than you normally get and she, she's a champion that was vulnerable to all-ins from assassins, and
look at KT.
Feels a little bit safer right now. Wow, they're really
having a hard decision. They banned Rumble against Chunju. Remember,
Acorn.
Well, I said Chunju for the reason that he was known for that Rumble play, and of course Acorn is Chunju, but that's what everybody's thinking. And so, of course, it's going to be a first pick Lucian, so that's an interesting choice, letting the Lucian go through instead of the Rumble.
And Gragas may be picked up right here for Ryu, one of his preferential champions. And usually it's something we see banned against him. LeBlanc, a strong champion overall right now. We haven't seen a whole lot of her so far, except played by Faker.
Yeah. Well, again, Cloud Templar, the Cloud Templar tribute, going through all of his favorite junglers, right? Skarner, Maokai, Amumu, old school Cloud Templar. It's cool to see the players kind of give tribute to the retired Cloud Templar now.
Yeah, that's right. But there's the Olaf pick.
And they may actually pick Amumu, too. He's still a very viable pick. But it's going to be Olaf, probably Sona. Yeah, there's a lock-in. So they do get one of the hyper-powerful champions available right now in Olaf.
And it's interesting that Olaf was selected by Insec instead of Kakao, so we don't really know where that champion is going yet.
Yeah, they're meant to misdirect a bit with it, I'm sure.
We've had only jungle Olaf so far. I'd be interested to see him back in the top lane, but they may be waiting to see what kind of matchup they're going to get there.
Now, and Samsung hovered over that Ashe for a moment. We did see a mid-Lucian actually yesterday, so it is out there.
It is out there. Shyvana going to be a much more likely pickup, especially with the Orianna. They're going for that Wombo combo with the Orianna Dragonflight in, combined with the Command Protect Shockwave.
It is pretty good right now.
It's very strong indeed, and they can double it up even further. Lulu's still available. Ryu can play Zed, one of his best champions, still up for grabs. And Ryu also a Kha'Zix player back in the day as well, but we haven't seen that in quite some time. LeBlanc would be a little bit interesting. They'd have powerful ganks going on in the mid lane with Olaf coming in from the side.
I wouldn't be surprised to see him pick up Lissandra as well. We'll see. Gragas always a good option, and that's what it'll be. Ezreal for Score, and Score is well known for his Ezreal play. Really a comfort pick for him in game number 1.
Yeah, and of course the Gragas against the Orianna matchup. You have such great all-in potential, especially if your jungler comes. And Olaf's damage right now is so high that it's pretty much a guaranteed kill if Pawn doesn't play Ori very safely when Gragas hits 6.
Yeah. And Janna, interestingly enough. Okay, switching it back over to Fiddle. We'll see what they decide to go with. Thresh, obviously a good option as well for Hart to pick up. Lee Sin the pickup for jungle on the Samsung Blue side, and waiting for those seconds to tick by. Will it be Thresh? Will it be Soraka? The Banana Cage made an appearance yesterday, but
I don't think it's going to be
maybe we'll see more
Soraka.
than one. I don't think so either, yeah.
He is Heart, though, so it makes sense.
That's true.
It's got to go with something a little bit softer, healing-oriented.
Or Fiddlesticks.
Or Fiddlesticks.
Or
yeah.
the direct opposite. Well,
Now, Fiddlesticks Lucian is not a lane that we've seen yet, so I'm curious as to how this is going to work.
Well, we're going to find out.
Fiddlesticks is a staple of the KT Bullets, obviously not going to pick it this time around with Sona, but they love that pickup, especially with Gragas on the team. And
Rengar! Rengar for Insect. Maybe a jungle Rengar.
I have no idea what this is going to be.
Cool.
I do know, there are some things I do know, which is that Insect was practicing Rengar a lot at the end of Champions Summer. Because of the Rengar bug, it ended up being a global ban at the time.
Yeah.
But I know he was practicing it very actively, and this is an incredibly aggressive composition in the early
switch,
game.
yeah.
That's going to be the switch up right there. Not a surprise. Insect also was practicing Shyvana quite a bit towards the end of Champions Summer. Didn't end up pulling it out. Which is a bit of a shame because I've thought Shyvana has been strong for a long time. It's just that nobody was playing her. She hasn't been nerfed or buffed, so it's a little bit interesting that she suddenly rose now.
It's cool to see Rengar make a comeback, though. I'm really excited about this. He was always definitely one of my favorite champions to watch ever since back from the Mach Noon Rengar days. But today, it's all Insect going up against Acorn on Shyvana in that top lane. The jungle Cacao on Olaf, Spirit on Lee Sin. We had Cacao Kai way back when. I guess we have Kakolov now.
Kakolov sounds good. Well, Ryu, this is a big comfort champion. Typically, we see the Gragas bans against Ryu because he was destroying Faker with Gragas in the Champions Summer Final before they finally selected that as the proper ban of choice.
Yeah. And so, it's time. Game number 1 of our final series here in Busan for the Champions Winter Opener. Samsung Blue taking on KT Bullets. Let's get in the game. Here we go, guys. Group B, set 1, Samsung Blue versus the KT Bullets here on Champions Winter with Doa and Monte Cristo. Thanks for watching, and we have had an awesome weekend here in Busan. And now it's time for the final series. Back to Seoul tomorrow and back to the Youngsan Esports studio on Wednesday.
That's right.
It's going to be great.
We're going to 3 days a week next week.
That's right.
For the remainder of the group stage.
I can't wait.
Oh.
Acorn loves that ward, man. He's just hanging out.
That's a smart ward, though, for this Rengar, because you want to know if you can get a jump on somebody from the brush right there. They're coming around.
Ah, okay.
Ooh.
Wow.
So they saw the placement of it originally, and taking it out with a pink ward, they don't want to get surprised early on in this. 2 pink. Whoa, what? This is a very interesting level 1.
Huh. Because really, I mean, KTB, well, I mean, these are 2 teams that have a lot of level 1 history, though.
Yeah, when you buy 2 pink wards that early on, though, it limits your vision in lane quite clearly because you're spending so much money. They did get 2 wards for it. We'll see how this plays out.
Well, in the end, I mean, if you look at wards across the board right now, you have Maffa with his, one Vision Ward and one Explorer Ward, and just one Vision Ward on the Samsung Blue side on Hearts. So as far as wards in lane right away in the game, they're going to be at about the same. Obviously, a little bit of an edge for KT, but
I mean, this is really just a mind game, though, because right here what it did was it caused the KT Bullets to be really paranoid about what was going on.
Yeah.
To the degree that they had to five-man red. And traditionally, back when they were MVP Blue, this team has had some of the most inventive and strange level ones out of any team in Champions. And was also, for a time, the team most likely to pick up a level 1 First Blood. Kakao now moving down to the blue buff. So they did eventually sort out their lanes. They did have to share XP with Insec, and he's going into a 1v2 here.
Yeah.
As a result of that.
Kakao gonna steal the blue on the other side. Looks like not a lot of resistance there, really any resistance. And Acorn already recalling.
Interesting play right there. Looks like he's just going to pick up some more potions and a ward of his own. Another ward, actually.
I guess so, yeah. A little bit of damage already on that bottom turret by Deft and Heart.
Yeah, well, as to be expected, I mean, Insec is incredibly late to lane right here. He actually missed the XP from that entire piled wave.
Wow.
Not very good start for Insec right here, but of course, Acorn pushed out early on as well, so pretty much just reciprocal damage going down. But Deft and Heart shoved that lane really, really quickly. As you can see, the piling up in the top lane.
Oh, and they've got an early dive coming in. Spirit, though, getting caught by Kakao, so they're not going to be able to execute that one.
Spirit does have a level edge. Got to watch out just a little bit right there.
Yep.
And going for some counter jungling.
Yeah, why not? I mean, when you've got that level edge, when you've got that dueling advantage with Lee Sin, why not? Kakao having to spend a lot of time in lane. Pretty encouraging early minute or two for Samsung Blue. Ryu getting really low, wow.
Well, this is how the matchup goes early on, is that it's just very easy for Orianna to poke down Gragas, but after that is when it gets a little scary for Ori, just because you don't have the tools to get away if he just throws that explosive cast behind you.
Right.
The burst damage is too much for a fragile little robot to handle.
That's right. Not built to last. No adamantine metal in there like Wolverine has. Just tinfoil.
Oh, yeah, they really should have commissioned Ford to build it.
Yeah, that's true. They build their cars out of adamantine, don't they?
That's what I've
heard, yeah.
All right, well, a gank coming in from behind. Spirit here.
Spirit coming in with the double buffs. Acorn comes in. There's the exhaust onto Spirit. They're trying to get away, and it looks like they will. Moffitt score. Acorn getting really low. Do they want to go in on this? I don't think so, but nice response.
Yeah, immediately
from Spirit.
Yeah, immediate response from Score and Mappa.
Yeah.
Pretty characteristic. They play
one of the better bot lanes for sure.
Yeah, they play very passively too. They're not known for being particularly aggressive.
Right.
Kakao usually will just ping pong between Ryu and Insec during the laning phase, and Score and Maffa are pretty much left to their own devices a lot of the time, as we're seeing right now. Kakao moving up now that he's managed to help Insec enough to push back.
Yeah. Score and Maffa is so good, but really, I mean, their philosophy is just, well, we'll just not die for a while, you know? We'll just get farm and push our lane and be in good shape.
You know, I'm wondering if they kind of second guess if Samsung Blue out mind game, because by taking away the vision there, they may have forced the Bullets to believe that they were sending their duo lane into top and trying to hide it, and therefore Insec went into the bot lane assuming he was going to be against Shyvana.
Well, I feel like they know that Insec is going to be a bit of a focus for them in this series. He's a great player, but, you know, like you said, he had that champion pool issue. And Score, Spirit coming in, nice arcane shift to dodge the Q from Spirit. He's going to have to cleanse, though, to avoid the slow. So one summoner down, but he does escape with his life. No first blood yet for either side.
Yeah, Ryu getting pretty far behind his CS already, though.
Yeah, he's having a hard time in that mid lane against Pawn. And like we said, we've seen how good Pawn can be in just a straight up mid lane. And uh-oh, Maffa getting jumped on and just getting annihilated. First blood goes to Acorn, and Samsung Blue just a little bit out of position.
Well, the gold lead's really stacking up from the CS difference, too.
Yeah.
It's the KT Bullets playing on their heels early on.
Yeah.
Not able to do a whole lot right here. So far, Kakao hasn't had much presence, and Acorn now chasing off score from this top lane. He still got his flash up, but Acorn now with level 6. Kakao coming up there, but they do have a level disadvantage right now on both champions.
Yep.
Will make it difficult to fight this 2v2.
And Acorn sticking around in that top lane for quite a while. Still about half health. Spirit going to be able to take out that ward with the Vision Ward. Gets an undertow to the face from Kakao. And Mafa's back, so a little bit of aggression put on that top lane. Either way, a really nice first blood from Samsung Blue. And this is tough for Ryu and the rest of KTB. They need to be really careful here.
Well, Spirit right there as Ryu hits 6, not letting him get any kind of opportunity right.
Yep.
Kakao clearing out his red buff for the second time. Need to set up for the blue. And an early dragon attempt here.
Wow, really early dragon attempt.
Well, they're trying to use the fact that they have that advantage in the bot lane.
Yep.
And Insect just got shoved out as well, so that's going to be uncontested. KT Bullets really need to make something happen here, make this play on the top tower. Wow, they're going to lose the bottom turret as well. This is pretty disastrous for the KT Bullets.
Man, I'm surprised. I mean, this is already a little bit on the edge here for KTB. They're going to get this blue buff, it looks like. Probably. Oh, they don't quite get it. It was close. It was close.
Yeah, Kakao had to pick that one up, though. They couldn't give it over to Ryu.
Yeah. And I feel like if you look at the gold totals, already KTB on a knife's edge in game number 1. They need to really have a good next 5 minutes.
Well, Samsung Blue is making very smart rotations right here in order to take multiple objectives at the same time. And they're dividing their resources up so expertly as well by leaving Deft down there by himself to take out the turret while the rest of them got Dragon. They effectively took out both objectives at the same time. Just a perfect allocation of the power that they possessed in that moment.
Yeah, and it looks like Deft will be going for that Trinity Force as well. Picked up the Sheen already, and a Ruby Crystal, actually. Oh, and of course, for Phage. So he's already close, actually, to getting that Phage.
Yeah, he's getting closer, but, you know, the Bullets did answer with an objective of their own. They got the blue buff as well, but...
You don't usually see a 3K gold lead at 9 minutes, though. It's a bit disturbing for KT.
Especially considering the turrets are even as well.
There's only one
just
kill.
A lot coming from this.
Yeah. Are they going to jump in? There's a Shockwave. Tried to get it onto Spirit, but they get the flash out of Ryu at least. Get something out of it.
Crafty.
Yep.
Crafty attempt there coming in from
cute,
the brush.
Man. Lee Sin is a pretty quick ball delivery system. It's about as fast as it gets.
Yeah, couldn't quite get the jump on him though, but it was a nice attempt.
It was good. Got the flash, so it's a win either way because the cooldown on that ultimate is definitely a lot less than the cooldown on Ryu's flash. And actually, Insect getting jumped on, and he's in big trouble. I don't know if he can get away here. He is invisible, but look at Culling. They can see where it hits him because of Culling. Really smart from Deft.
Deft landed pretty much every shot on his ult right there as well. Insect will be able to heal himself and get away. But they've got a deal. They chased that kill very far, and he was kind of a bit of a bait right there. They've got a large minion wave going into this turret.
Yeah, I don't know what Acorn can really do to stop this. He's trying to kill the minions, but he would take so much damage getting any closer than he really is right now.
Yeah, good damage for the KT Bullets onto that tier 2 turret.
Yeah, already.
They also forced the rotation out of Pawn, which gave Ryu this blue buff. He got to push the tower, and he's going to be able to take a look at this blue.
Yep.
Now, will he get it or not? Hart and Deft coming in from the side. Now, that Fiddlesticks is level 6.
Yeah, he can ult, and there it goes. I think he activated it. There it is. Surprise party coming in with the fear onto Ryu. Ryu in big trouble here, doesn't get the blue buff, and Spirit coming in for the kill. Actually, Spirit did take that blue buff from Ryu after the gank. So still just a 3K gold lead. So KTB, despite losing some people, have stabilized. They have done some damage to that tier 2 turret top lane like we just saw as well.
Yeah, Ryu should have been a little bit scared right there, considering he didn't know where 3 members of Samsung Blue were.
He knows now.
Well, he figured it out. but not in time for him to actually get a blue buff right there or take advantage of the fact that they drove Orianna all the way down from the pressure in the top lane.
Yeah. And so, the game continues. Insec a little bit down in farm to his top lane nemesis, Acorn.
Well, they better hope that Insec's going to be able to split push effectively right here and solo somebody. I mean, he will be able to split push well with the Spirit Visage when he gets it, empowering his heal so that he can pretty much constantly be a thorn in the side of Samsung Blue. But, I mean, the Wombo combo and the dive potential coming out of Samsung Blue, when you think about Lee Sin, Shyvana, and Fiddlesticks all going in together with an Orianna ult on top of that, pretty darn scary.
Yeah, and Spirit coming in on Insec right now, kicks him back into the wall. Hard is right there with the Fear, and Def coming up. Are they going to give the kill to him? Looks like it's going to be Invisibility ultimate pop for Insec, and he sneaks back around. Nice move, comes in onto Spirit. Can he do it? He's got Olaf coming down to help him as well.
And they're chasing more people coming. Ryu.
This is going to turn into a big fight unless they disengage, and they do. So Samsung Blue wisely backing off there.
Insec escaping once again. Moving pretty slippery.
That's right.
As Rengar. Slippery Lion.
That's right. Slippery Lion.
It's going to be the name of my next band, though.
Slippery Lion? I was like, that was the name of a drink I had in a bar last night, I think. It's all of a Slippery Lion. Or I think that's like Snoop Dogg's next ID or something.
He's tired of changing animals. Now he's
That's
just
right.
going to change the adjective.
Well, he's not even Snoop Lion anymore, but I guess he can go back to the lion and then change the Snoop part to Slippery.
There you go.
Slippery Lion.
It's been decided.
Yep. Just make sure I get a credit on the album, Snoop. I mean Slippery. Well, right now, a little bit of a lull in the action, but it has been a pretty action-packed game so far. They're going to give that blue buff over to Pawn, of course.
Yeah, maybe not in terms of kills, but definitely in terms of interesting plays that we've seen in attempts. And you can see
a lot
how
of really interesting movement, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of interesting movement. And you can see how good both of these teams are coming in here, that there haven't been kills in these situations, that they've managed to read each other well enough to dodge any fatal blows and instead just try and create opportunities without overcommitting to them.
Well, speaking of opportunities, KTB coming down thinking they have an opportunity for Dragon, but I don't know, man. Samsung Blue is right there.
They have to go for it. Shyvana's in the top lane. They need to do something about this.
I think they kind of do, but they're not going to. They're a bit worried. Wow, KTB. You know, one thing about the Bullets is that they do get scared easily. I will say that about them. I feel like this is something we've seen before in their play, where they can get intimidated sometimes.
Here we go. Spirit took a little bit of damage from the Dragon.
Yeah. Okay. So now they're coming back down again.
This delay may have cost them damage onto the tier 2 turret, however, which would have been unnecessary.
That's right, yeah. And Spirit just waiting to come in. They're going to try to do that Q Shockwave again, but Insec coming in onto Heart right now. There's a crescendo over the top, locks up a couple people. Heart taken out before he can really get anything off. Shockwave not really doing a whole lot right now, as there is not a lot of capitalizing that Blue can do on that. And now it's going to be a Dragon that KTB should be able to take. We'll see. Smite still available for Spirit. EQs, but no Smite for him. Kakao gets that one. So a bit messy, but KT comes out of it with a kill and a Dragon. A little bit of damage on that tier 2 turret, but actually not that bad, honestly.
Well, it will be a little worse by the time they actually get around to defending it. In the meantime, Blue turning this into a siege on the mid lane, and look at that, the turret might actually go down.
Now they might actually get that one.
As they recall, they may lose their mid lane turret as well for this.
Wow, yeah, they actually will lose that tier 2 turret. Never mind everything I said.
Oh boy, this is not good for the KT Bullets. If they had just reacted faster, their indecision probably cost them that tier 2 turret up in the top lane.
You know, we're seeing a little bit of hesitancy that we don't see too often from them, but it does seem to creep up every once in a while. And I think, honestly, the Korean scene is reeling a little bit from just how good the Samsung Blue team has gotten so fast. But, you know, again, Insec a little bit caught. Is he going to have to use his ultimate to escape again? Can he do it? Flashing away, still very, very low, and he will make it out again.
Yeah, he didn't have his ultimate up, but now they're on the chase, trying to get some kills out of this. Ryu here with Kakao.
Yeah, Kakao gets kicked away, but Spirit's still in trouble. Ryu with the flash body slam. He's going to pick up that kill, and now Acorn, a slow Dragon, trying to get away. The ultimate is still active, of course, and Ryu coming in. Can he get another one? Acorn trying to go in on the Moff and get something out of it, but no, it's going to be another kill for Kakao. Meanwhile, Deft and Pawn going after that tier 2 turret, but without a minion wave, they can't really do a whole lot more damage to that. They might be able to get it, though, with this next wave.
Well, though True Shot Barrage, they will be able to get it,
yeah.
especially with the Sheen coming out of Deft, so no worries there. And another turret, so they got 2 kills, but they lose a turret for it, and we're still looking at that 4K gold deficit for the KT Bullets as they continue to hemorrhage towers. They just can't take objectives in return right now.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Kills aren't enough for KTB right now. They need to get, something beyond that. They need to get an objective out of it. And the one dragon they've gotten so far isn't going to be, well, All right, well, Kakao did pick up Oracle. So this is part of a step in the right direction. Gaining vision control back over their side of the map. That's the first step. And once you have that, try to win a team fight and then try to get a few turrets.
Well, in this case, they're probably going to be looking for a pick with the team composition that they have. I mean, team fights are not going to be their best option right now. Gragas Rengar is okay together because if you can split somebody off for Rengar to focus down really quickly, because that's really where he excels, is in that single target burst, you're going to be okay, but even so, he's still just not the best team fighting champion in the game. He's got a pretty specific use, and that is in the split pushing capacity.
We'll see. Pawn. Kind of hanging out. And yeah, Insec is getting a decent amount of time to farm, but he's still 40 CS down almost.
He also just can't even deal with Acorn right now.
Yeah.
Acorn also has the global gold. Insec is just lagging behind immensely, as you can see right there. Acorn very far ahead in items.
Yeah.
It's going to take a while, if ever, to close that gap. Hart now counter-clearing with his own Oracle and trying to push that wall of wards deeper on into the KT Bullets jungle.
Yeah, and I feel like we are seeing part of the reason why Rengar did kind of fall off too in this game is that he is a bit one-dimensional, and if you can counteract that one dimension, then you can kind of counteract that position. It becomes kind of 4.5 v5 at that point,
Well, I also think the KT Bullets really didn't want that lane swap. And, Rengar not the most magnificent 1v2 laner. And so he did get that early deficit. He got shoved out of lane. He got behind in terms of his CS.
Yep.
And he hasn't been able to recover hardly at all. And they didn't make anything out of Ryu's Gragas all-in potential at 6 either onto Pawn. Spirit wasn't really, or Kakao rather, wasn't really around to make a play because he was so busy trying to deal with the wave clear in Insect's lane.
Yeah. Well, I totally approve of Maffa's game, though. 1-1 and 2 already.
Well, at least he's managed to keep up. I mean, if he didn't have the Philosopher's Stone, they wouldn't have a lot of hope in terms of winning the Vision battle.
Yeah,
that they absolutely have to win right now.
All the lanes are starting to push in favor of Samsung Blue again. Now the pressure really is going to start mounting on KTB. Still about 4K gold down. That hasn't changed really in the last few minutes. And Rolster B really just needs to make something happen here. Drag it up in about 40 seconds, and I've got a feeling that that's going to be the next point of action here in this game. Hart, though, well, they've got some good wards.
Yeah,
right now.
He has done a good job. They know where everybody is at the moment. He's got, if his team is there, he's got a pretty amazing angle. Nope, ward goes down.
Yeah. Oh, well.
But he could have come over had the rest of his squad been able to follow up on his ultimate.
Yeah.
But no Crow Storm, not quite yet. Score still just farming up. Deft ports out in the little brush on the side. Oh,
Insect coming over the top onto Hart. Shot Barrage comes through. Crescendo kind of airballs, but they do pick up Hart anyway. Shockwave completely airballs. KT on the run now. They did get that pick, and this could help them get another dragon. We'll see if Blue wants to 4v5 this.
They can't without their ults. They can't fight this.
Yeah, they're trying to be intimidating. Oh, they try to get the Dragon Seal. Doesn't end up working out. Spirit safeguarding way over to Akon. Now they're on the run, though. Spirit, oh, he gets taken out, and Acorn comes in, 1v5. The Culling doing a lot of damage. Insect over the top, though. A double kill for Pawn already, and somehow Blue turns it around. Really clever use of positioning there from Samsung Blue. What a great team fight from them.
Yeah, with Depth following up from the rear right there. I mean, with Acorn, they kind of all stood in Shyvana's AoE.
Yeah, they did.
And that was pretty detrimental. If they hadn't all grouped up in the brush like that against Orianna and Shyvana, they probably could have made something out of that fight. Score has to back off and heal up on the Wolves right now. Don't know if he's actually going to be able to finish this. Gives Deft a little poke. Command Protect comes back to deal with him. There we go. There's the True Shot Barrage.
Let's watch this team fight again. Talk about making something out of nothing.
Yeah, so Hart comes in, and that was a misuse of the Sona ult just a little bit right there. Shockwave completely misses.
Yep.
And so here they come around. They do manage to pick up the Dragon right here, but you can see how strong Shyvana is right now. They turn onto Spirit pretty much immediately and will be able to chase him down. A lot of flashes used there. And here's the big error right here. 4 members standing around this Shyvana. Actually 5 now. So watch him get into the middle of that with the Command Protect. They eat an Orianna combo right there in addition to Burnout. And that is, I mean, you can't get 5 people onto that Orianna AoE.
Yeah. They basically just got put in the meat grinder there. Oh, Hart gets caught again. He was the weakest power in Captain Planet, and now he's kind of the weakest link on the team today, unfortunately.
He hasn't been doing a whole lot, but he's gotten
Not
some
a lot.
relatively decent fears down.
Yeah, he's made an impact, no doubt, but been getting caught a little bit lately.
Well, 6 towers to 1 right now.
Yeah, he can get caught. It's okay.
He can get caught, and okay, well, they're going to do a little bit of the split push here. Score trying to take down that mid lane. He does have, of course, that Trinity Force, so his team just going to allow him to do that. They're not taking risks. They say, well, if you got your champions here, we'll just let Score take down mid. We can turn this around in just a second, but they're playing this very smart. You know, they know they're down. They know they need to get picks in order to do this, so they're setting them up in the opponent's jungle.
Yeah.
And then they're turning it into objectives. It's the kind of methodical play they need right now if they want to have any chance at coming back.
Yeah, they're certainly making an effort anyway. Acorn coming through, and Deft is right there as well. He's going to go in on the Insect a little bit. And he needs to be careful. There were a few members of KT in the river, but they've backed off now. Yeah. So KT, of course, the masters at taking Baron. And they may want to try to set up one of those Baron picks to try to get back into this game, but their team comp doesn't really support it as much as some of the other ones they've had in the past.
Yeah, they definitely not. That's the main issue right here. Insect is also just so far behind. I mean, I can't really stress that enough.
Yeah.
Just in terms of his items, like there's no way they can really deal with this Shyvana right now. They don't have very many tools because the Gragas Burst isn't going to be a whole lot in order to handle it. And Score is built as a kind of a caster this game. He's relying on his Mystic Shots, on his poke with that last Whisper. I mean, he really needs a Blade of the Ruined King.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he just won't have the amount of damage he needs to take down the Shyvana. I mean, and Acorn can tank the world right now.
Yeah. The dragon that tanked the world.
That's Acorn.
That's right. Man, Pawn is going to be doing a ridiculous amount of damage in the next team fight. There's the Culling, taking a lot of chunks out of Mafa. Wow, but yeah, look at Pawn's items right now. Death Cap, Athenes, and a Blasting Wand on top of everything. Sork Shoes. Yeah, he's terrifying right now. And if Shyvana or Lee Sin gets in with the ball on top of them, that's going to be a ton of damage onto KT.
Yeah, there's only one thing the KT bullets can do, and that's catch people out. That's it. And now we can see, of course, that Samsung Blue is well aware of that. They've thoroughly warded their own jungle because they've learned the lesson that KT bullets will just hide in there in a brush and wait for them to rotate. Not taking any more chances in that regard, and there are just so many wards, the bullets can't really eliminate the ball in a timely manner. Insect continuing just to go back to base, pick up one more item at a time, and then head back to lane as the waves push forward.
Yeah, I mean, really, KTB is they just have to go for a stalling tactic at this point. Have to try to get to that super late game if they can, but Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you and I were talking about this series before the broadcast started today, and we're like, yeah, KTB versus Blue, that's going to be a long series because these teams do tend to favor longer games, and KTB, especially in situations like this, just likes to slow the pace down, wait for their opponents to make mistakes, and then try to capitalize on that.
Well, that's all they really can do.
Yeah.
Is the thing is that they can throw this game away, but they know how far behind they are. They know the limits of their champions, and they know that they just have to wait this one out. There's no other choice.
Yep.
And they're really relying on score here as well.
Well, he's been getting a decent amount of items. Just picked up that Vamp Scepter as well.
He's so far off from the Blade of the Ruined King, though.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
It's going to take a lot of time.
And by the time he has it, I mean, we may see something close to a Randwins on Acorn as well.
Yeah.
They're still trying to set up picks right here. Oracle expired.
Can Blue really siege this? I mean, how aggressive can they be right now? They're going to go for Dragon, but both of these teams just playing so passively now.
I mean, they are going to have maybe a little bit of trouble sieging with their comp, but they can just wait to dive
Yeah.
as well because it won't be too hard for them to hit a good combo in a tight choke like around a tower.
Right, or if they can maybe pull the team into the jungle somehow. That'd be pretty devastating.
Yeah, that would be ideal, but I don't
Yeah.
think the KT Bullets are going to fall for that trick. They are being quite methodical and clearing their own jungle.
You never know.
And you see them being cautious in their rotations as well. When they don't have vision, they are taking the long way around. They're deliberate in the way they're moving from lane to lane.
Yep. All right, well now the action moving up back towards the Baron Pit again. There are some vision wards down, but so far Samsung Blue leaving that one alive in the Baron Pit. They're going to clean it out now, though. And KT, still looking for picks. That's about it.
I mean, this is a game of ward wars at this point.
That's right. Ward wars.
It's just a ward massacre.
That's right.
Everybody has oracles. Everybody has vision wards. Just go ahead and put them all down.
It's a dark day for wards on Summoner's Rift.
Just slap them on the board.
Many wards died to give them that information. And Spirit doing his part in the war on wards.
Okay, are they actually going to try and do something right
Maybe,
here?
They might. I thought maybe we'd see that explosive cast engage from Ryu, but didn't quite want to do it. I mean, the only person that was really in range to hit back would have been Acorn, and you generally don't want a Shyvana in the middle of your team, as KTB found out earlier.
Yeah, they don't, but Insect's still going in right here.
Yeah, he pops that ultimate. They got to change
very
this to Vision Ward, yeah.
Smart Vision Ward.
And now Acorn thinking about going in. Nope, decides not to. And Def just pushing him back with the culling. The culling.
Nobody was cold, however.
Nope. And now Samsung Blue trying to go for this Baron. Can they do it, though? Hart coming back. He's going to hide in that brush. He's going to try to zone out the members of KTB as long as possible. A really quick Baron. And now Samsung Blue may have that chance. There's a fear on Kakao. And actually, Shyvana coming through the top. Acorn just running through KTB to get to that red buff. Not taking a lot of damage from really anything right now.
Well, KT Bullets may have finally been whittled down enough by Samsung Blue to deal some sort of coup de grace right here.
It's looking that way. They're up to about 8,000 gold ahead, and they still do have that enormous turret advantage. They've been taking the jungle of KT Bullets all game long.
It's so puzzling to me, Doa, what happened to this blue team, because they were never very good. They had so many problems. And then all of a sudden they came back and they showed just such poise in a game like this that you only see from the very top, tippy-top teams.
Yeah.
In terms of closing out, when your opponent is so cagey, when your opponent is successfully setting up picks, to turn it around and just not make any errors in terms of your vision control.
It's really incredible. I mean, I'd love to see these guys versus SK Telecom S.
And this group is going to be really tight. I mean, we've already seen that split between IM2 and Najin Blacksword in this group. This is the group of death.
Yeah.
You know, quite possibly all four of these teams deserve to go to the playoffs of this tournament. I mean, we'll see how the rest of how the rest of it plays out. But what we've seen so far from IM2, from Najin Blacksword, from the KT Bullets, and from Samsung Blue, I'd say these are certainly teams that deserve to go on.
Yeah.
Now, we haven't seen every team play yet so far, but they're across the board. These games have been rock solid.
Ryu just chewing gum or something like that in the booth. He's just chill. Like, I'll just defend this turret. And there's a culling. A lot of damage done to Score, actually. They're going to try to push him off the turret. This is what you use Lucian for. And that turret taking a lot of damage. Acorn trying to zone as best he can, saving that ultimate. And actually, Insect going really deep onto Heart. Heart goes down, doesn't get that ultimate off. And now Acorn jumping in the middle of everything. He's kind of by himself, but he's so tanky that he can last. They should be able to get this inhibitor turret out of it. Heart has just kind of been the sacrificial lamb for all the positives that have happened to Samsung Blue this game. Nice kickback. They get him off really easily. No crescendo there, and that might let them rotate around and do a little bit more damage. But no, look at this. They're going right in onto the Nexus turrets. Ryu Low has to back off for now. And Samsung Blue, how long can they sustain this in-base siege?
Well, they can take down turrets so fast with this Trinity Force Lucian, but no need to take any more risks. In fact, the minion wave already hitting that mid lane turret. Just grab it and go.
Man, they got 3 turrets and an inhibitor out of that.
Def's still here.
Bad.
Ryu over the wall. Are you crazy?
He is, I guess. A little bit of culling to show him who's boss.
Well, that should about do it for this one. I mean, this is a very high-level game of League of Legends that has just been played. And was it the most exciting spectacular game in the world? And I guess Heart is going to flash in place right there, like you do.
Why not? Like you do. Sometimes you just flash.
Sometimes you just flash while you're farming,
That's right.
Whatever.
You just by yourself in lane, nobody's around, you just you just flash. You flash dance even.
So yeah, but this game has been highly tactical.
Yeah. It's been a really cool game, actually.
So Samsung Blue really showing that they can hang with the best of them.
Yeah.
I mean, coming
beat
in,
the best of them.
Yeah, coming in and beating SK Telecom, coming in and beating the Bullets. They now have taken out,
everybody, really?
the final teams, the finalists of Champion Summer.
Yeah.
I think that pretty much proves their dominance right now in Korea.
I would agree. I mean, such a strong game one, and we've still got another game after this, but Blue just still looking so tactical and so calm. Really, a completely different team than the Blue we saw before Worlds.
Well, they're blue. They're a tranquil ocean.
I guess so.
They are the color of serenity, Doa.
Yeah. Wow. I'm just so impressed with these guys.
It's just so bizarre how they suddenly got so good.
Yeah, well, I mean, the only other alternative is the Space Jam scenario. They have like a mouse that they had. They had like KTB touch and just sucked their ability out. That's also an option, I guess.
Okay, well, here we go. The push onto the mid lane.
Oh, they're getting him off again. Crescendo doesn't hit anybody, and a nice engage by Acorn onto Ryu and Score. Meanwhile, Insect way in the back lines, not able to get a lot accomplished as he goes down, trying to just lead them away from the inhibitor. Excuse me. Wow, they're even killing me. They're so good. Acorn still alive. There's a shockwave. Score manages to get out of it. Gets cold in the fountain. Goodbye, Ryu. That fear helped out quite a bit. And they're going to be able to finish the game right here, it looks like.
That's
Nexus
right.
going down.
Lucian just taking people down inside the fountain.
Yep,
He's
goes
trying
after
to
the barrier.
go
Does Academy gets him. Nice. And there goes the Nexus. GG. And Samsung Blue takes out the KT Roaster Bullets in their first game of this best of 2 here on Champions Winter.
Well, very nice play from Samsung Blue. And a lot
really
of,
amazing.
Samsung Blue had a reputation, and their nickname here in Korea is the champions of the off-season because they always tend to do well. You remember Club Masters when they won, and then they were looking really hot in WCG. And so the team, they were kind of a joke in that way, where they always underperformed during the season. But the season of champions, that is, and in other tournaments in between, they had good results. But this time, they're showing that they've come to play in this season of champions as well.
They certainly
They are
have.
a major contender.
They definitely have. Deft had a great game, 6-1 and 6. Everybody really had a great game. So impressive, a victory for Samsung Blue, and if they can 2-0 the KT Rolster Bullets, you know, it's such a competitive group that may actually be all it takes if they keep playing at this level to get out of the group.
Yeah, that's quite true. And KT Bullets, just like in our last match, they really need to split this right now if they want to remain viable in a very, very hard group.
That's right. This is going to be a very unforgiving season of champions. Titans will fall.
Except for Group C.
That's right. Well, not that one. Forget that group, but the other ones will.